I'm kind of laughing at myself for even thinking that I wanted it. It just doesn't feel like it's worth the effort for the cost. Apparently the like true form is like insanely sensitive. I didn't actually want it all that much. So I don't know about you, but my planty wish list is incredibly fluid. I'm adding things to it regularly. I'm taking things off regularly because maybe I didn't do the research on the plant before I put it on the list. I just saw a cool plant online and I was like, that one would be a cool one to think about. And then by the time I'm telling you about my wish list, I haven't gone in and done any research on those plants. But one of the things that does really help me is when I do my wish list videos and y'all tell me your experiences with the plants, and that kind of gives me at least a little bit of a better idea of whether or not they should stay. And a lot of the plants don't stay on the wish list because over time I either fall out of love with them, I don't really like the look anymore, I learn that they are hard AF to take care of, or they just feel too unattainable that I don't feel like it's worth my time like pining after it, if you know what I mean. So today I'm going to be sharing with you some plants that got cut from my wish list over the past couple of years, as well as why they got cut. Before we get into that though, I want to say if you're new here and you don't know me already, hi, my name is Emma and I make houseplanty content all over the internet. So if you want to follow along with my houseplanty journey and maybe learn something along the way, stick around, watch more of my videos and subscribe to my channel. If you are not new here, welcome back. I really appreciate you returning. Now let us get into this. Also, I wanted to say these are in no particular order. They're just ones that I have cut for some reason or another from the wish list. The first one being the begonia snow-capped variegated. I really liked the look at this one for quite a while. I think it's quite cool, and I think what got me is all of the beautiful pictures on Instagram. Like, I just kept seeing pictures and reels of these very beautiful, well-grown, bushy, variegated snow-caps, and I'm like, that is so pretty. I love that. And like the pink on there, I like it in theory, in pictures. Do I like pink in my home? In plants? Not really. A lot of the begonias I have having red backs, that is almost too much for me. And so like, why would I want to go in and like add some of that like pinky hue to the front of the plant again? I do not know. I don't know why I even thought that this was one that I would want. Also, I have heard that they are somewhat difficult to maintain that variegation on. And so it's just like, it just doesn't feel like it's worth the effort for the cost, because they're also still not gone down in price that much since the beginning of the year. They haven't become much more attainable during this time, and so it just doesn't feel like one that makes sense to add to my collection. Also, I should say that my normal non-variegated begonia snow-capped croaked, and so would it be wise for me to get one that's in theory more difficult than that? Probably not. Would I be able to grow it? Sure, I'm sure if I like put my effort into it, it would be fine, but like, I don't necessarily feel like I need to. And I feel like that's good. The smaller my wish list is, the better, I think, because otherwise I just end up getting loads of plants because I justify it. Like, even if I'm on a plant bed, I'm like, yeah, I can get that plant off my wish list. So if I have a smaller list, it is probably for the best. Next up on the list is the alocasia zebrina, and I have tried a few here and there, but it always ended up going back on my list. It's been on my list for a few years. I do think that they are really cool, beautiful plants, and the like best defining feature of them is their beautiful stripy zebrina stems. But I was thinking about it the other day, and I actually have quite a lot of alocasias with the sort of stripy zebrina stems, like the Branchifolia Pink Passion, my Jacqueline. Does the Stingray have striped stems? It might do. There's just like so many alocasias that I already have that have those stems that, to be honest, I think the leaves are a little bit more interesting than the zebrinas, because the zebrinas are just kind of like classic triangle leaf shape, which is cool. It's pretty. They are gorgeous plants. I'm not saying that they're ugly by any means. I just feel like I don't need to add it to my collection because it is quite similar to things that I already have. That being said, if a black stem came my way, if that was presented to me somehow, or I saw one online, I probably would get the black stem zebrina because I don't have any alocasias in my collection with those crazy dark black stems. And I think that is so cool. Y'all know I love a black dark goth plant, and I feel like that would be a perfect addition to my collection. So unfortunately, I don't think that'll happen just because I haven't really seen them around very much, so who knows. But if that one did come my way, I would not be mad at that. And then we've got the philodendron luxurians, which is gorgeous. I should say all the plants on this whole list are gorgeous. That's why they were on my wish list in the first place. But in general, I have kind of been going off of philodendrons for the past few years. I do have a select few that I absolutely love. Like, I love my glorias here. I've just kind of been paring down my collection of philodendrons because in general, for me, they either don't grow very well and end up looking kind of leggy and don't size up, or they get really big really fast and I don't have the space for that. So like, it either goes really well or really poorly, and either way I don't really have the room or the time to deal with the BS that a bad growing philodendron is sending me through. Also, I am pretty sure the luxurians is a crawler, which is one thing that I do not need to be adding into my collection. I cannot have any more trough pots. I don't have any at the minute. I don't have any crawling philodendron because I just don't have the space for that kind of thing in my home. A crawler just does not work for me in my space. Maybe in a different home, definitely not here. Would I get a luxurians? Like, I mean, I literally have the opportunity. I saw one on the Grow Tropicals website like a couple weeks ago. I could definitely get my hands on one quite easily, but I don't think I will. I just don't really have the desire for it anymore, even though the veins are pretty gorgeous. The Hoya rangsan was one that I had on my list for a couple of years as well. I kept kind of carrying it over, and I don't know why I never actually ended up getting myself one because they are accessible. I have seen them online in plant shops and stuff, so I could have gotten one if I really, really wanted to like stick my neck out and do it. I just never did. And to me, that means that I didn't actually want it all that much. And the thing is, as well, I do have quite a lot of splashy Hoyas already, and I don't really feel like I need to add a new one to my collection because I feel like it doesn't look that dissimilar to the Memoria or the like splashiness of the Crassio Petiolata Splash. They do have very similar vibes, and so do I need to be adding one that's basically the same thing? I mean, I've done that with a lot of Hoyas already, but like, I've done it so much that I don't need to do it anymore, if that makes sense. So while it is an absolutely beautiful plant and maybe down the line it is something I might add to my collection, but it has been taken off my wish list. I'm not gonna like go out of my way to find it, even though I didn't go out of my way to find it the past couple of years because I could have definitely got it. So I don't know, it's beautiful, but do I need to be adding more Hoya to my collection? No. All of my Hoyas are like, I'm just looking at them in the corner right now. All of them are like tenderling like crazy and trying to climb up things, and I need to like sort out their trellises and stuff, which I'm not gonna do right now, maybe in the new year, but I feel like I need to sort them out at the very least before I add more Hoyas to my collection. This next one is a super cool one. It is the Leea amabilis, and I think these are gorgeous. They are so beautiful. Those like dark leaves with a sort of white silvery middle to them. Stunning. I would love one of them. But one, I don't think that they're very accessible here in the UK. I don't think you can get them very easily. Also, I am pretty positive that they need quite high humidity in order to grow, and while my home is generally quite a humid space, I don't think I have high enough relative humidity everywhere, like outside of a cabinet setting, for a plant like that. And because it does kind of grow in more of a tree-ish form, I feel like it wouldn't do the best in my cabinet because it kind of ends up like spreading out and ends up taking up a lot of space. This is one that like, if one was presented to me in like a swap, or if one of my friends was like giving one away, I would probably take it, but I don't think I would buy it. They just seem like they look really sensitive as well. Like those leaves look really, really thin, and I feel like the thinner the leaf, the more sensitive the plant. I don't know if that is strictly true, but I feel like it's just more prone to things going wrong. So I think I'm gonna have to pass on the leea for now. So in general, I just decided to cut it from the wish list, and I can just admire it from afar on the internet instead of trying to add it to my collection. Similarly, one of my 2025 wishlist plants, or several of my 2025 wishlist plants, were the begonia botanicaz hybrids. Basically, this person hybridizes loads and loads of really, really cool, beautiful begonias, and like there's hundreds of different hybrids that they've made. And they're all really beautiful. A lot of them are super dark and gothic begonias. A lot of them flash blue and are really cool. But I'm pretty sure that they're US based. And so any sort of begonias from them would probably not do well in the shipping over to the UK because a lot of them seem quite sensitive. I know one of the things about begonia hybrids is they kind of need to be tested for like hardiness. I don't know if that's the right word, but they kind of need to be tested for that over time. And when you're making like lots and lots and lots of begonia hybrids, you might not be testing all of them before showing them to the world, which is totally fair. Like you can do whatever you want with your begonias. If you want to hybridize loads and like put them out there, fine. But like, I don't think I necessarily need these sort of sensitive begonias. Also, a lot of them do look like more rhizomaceous things, not cane begonias, and in general I tend to do better at cane begonias because they don't need as like humid of an environment, and I feel like a lot of these botanicaz begonias would be like quite humidity loving, and I do have like space for tiny begonias like that, but unless I bought myself a terrarium to fill with gorgeous begonias, which I very well could, and maybe down the line in the future I will, unless I did something like that, I think a lot of these would not do well for me in my home. And so I'm gonna have to admire from afar and hope that maybe they one day make it across the pond, and at the same time I also get a terrarium to keep loads of begonias in. So I feel like that's a lot of factors that need to come together at the same time in order for me to get these sort of begonias. And so it's just better to like cut them from the wish list. This next plant, I'm kind of laughing at myself for even thinking that I wanted it. Excuse me, Emma, what planet have you been on where you think you're gonna like a bright, colorful, variegated philodendron? Like what? That just goes against all of the things. Like, I know I don't really like pink variegation, orange variegation, yellow variegation, yet I've had this on my wish list. What, like, where was my mind? I just don't understand why I thought I wanted this one. I think potentially it might have been because it was sort of like rare and unattainable and like not the easiest to get your hands on, and so that sort of like unattainability made me want it more. But the more I look at these sort of philodendrons, I feel like they almost look sick or unwell in a lot of cases. I have a friend who they have lots of variegated philodendron micans. They do like a bit more colorful plants than I do, but they've got quite a few. I don't even think that I would take one off of them if they gave me one for free. That's how little I want this plant now, which is kind of crazy. Like going from all the way up like wish list to that far down, like I don't even want it at all. Obviously, so this one was like kind of a rogue choice to start with, so I really, like I said, don't know where my mind was, what I was thinking when I was making that wish list, when I was thinking that I even might want to get my hands on one. There are like a couple here and there I see with a bit more like white/light pink variegation, and those look better to me, but in the end, the likelihood of you getting one like that is like pretty slim. Also, I have heard that the variegation can just like disappear on them. I don't believe it's stable variegation, and so like even if you buy one that is variegated, there is a chance that it won't stay variegated. And so it's kind of like, what's the point if you're spending all that money just to get a normal micans and the bits that don't look normal look unwell? I'm not judging if that's what you like. Fine, you do you, but also it could never be me. It just couldn't be me. This next one is similar to one that I did recently get. It is the begonia darthvaderiana, but like the true form, because the one I got, it was the green spot, which is a hybrid of the darthvaderiana. But apparently the like true form of the darthvaderiana is like quite sensitive, like insanely sensitive, to the point where like you don't really want to ship it easily because they will not enjoy the post. I have heard from people online, maybe this is just their experience, but I have heard that like even in touching their leaves can be bad because like the heat and the bacteria from your fingers does bad things to the darthvaderiana. And while it is absolutely stunning of a plant, I really love the like dark middles and the like silver outlines. Absolutely love that. But I don't love it for the sensitivity levels. So again, this is one that could potentially go into a terrarium that never gets touched. I can just like look at it through some glass, like it's in a museum. Cool. But just out in my home, I don't think it would make a lot of sense. Also, I do have the green spot now, which like I said, is a little bit more hardy, as well as I have a baramensis, which isn't quite the same thing, but it kind of gives close enough vibes that like, it's kind of like a dupe, and so I don't really feel like I need to get the darthvaderiana anymore at all. And then the last plant that I have taken off of my wish list because I don't want it anymore is the schismatoglottis motleyana. And actually this year I decided to get rid of all of my schismatoglottis because I found them overly thirsty plants. They just like, they were fine, they did okay, but they were so thirsty even in semi-hydro that I just couldn't be bothered with the amount of like watering that needed to stay happy. So why would I keep this one on my wish list? Also, this is probably one of the few that I actually don't like the look of anymore. Like, it just looks kind of boring. That sounds really lame. Like, I know I picked this one for my wish list back when I was like getting into schismatoglottis and really enjoying the ones I had, which I did enjoy the ones I had. They just were too sensitive, and so I no longer feel like I need to collect them all. And so it's gone. I don't need to think about it anymore. I don't need to get this. It just looks a little bit boring, and I think at that point I'd rather get something like an aglaonema, which kind of gives similar vibes, and like you can get modeled ones like that, and they're gonna be so much hardier, so much more drought tolerant, and like so much less pressure to like stay on top of all of the care. So we just like, I'm over it. I'm over schismatoglottis kind of as a whole. So that is it. Those are all the plants that I have taken off my wish list that I am no longer trying to add to my collection. I am no longer seeking them out. I don't even want them. I can either admire them from afar or just not admire them at all because I don't know why I put some of them there. Before I sign off, I want to say a huge thank you to the newest member of my Good Growing fam over on Patreon, Roseth. Thanks for joining in. I really hope you love it over there. I hope you enjoy all the bonus content and live chats and access to the Discord and just like all of the fun things available to it. If anyone else is interested in joining, it is £3 a month, and for that you get the bulk of all of the different perks and everything. So it is there if you want it. You can kind of think about it as buying me a cup of coffee each month, running one of my grow lights for a month, something like that. And it's just a place to get better access to me. I also want to say it does make a really good gift. Gifting a Patreon membership is a fantastic gift for somebody else. If you've got a plant friend who's not already involved, or if you want to put it on your wish list, I'll pop the link down below in the description to gift a membership. And you can do it for 1 month, you can do it for a year, whatever you want. But also absolutely no pressure if Patreon is not your thing. I totally understand, and I do not blame you. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up down below and leave a comment on other houseplanty things you'd like me to talk about in the future, and subscribe for more. I hope you're having a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next one. Don't forget to keep growing. Bye!